In 1.6, number 8, we are asked to look at our graph and find parts A, B, C, and D. Originally, we are asked to find g of 1. We are given the g of x function. So in place of the x, they put a 1. So if we go to the x-axis to 1, where is the graph and what would be the y value? There is a point right here at -1. So this point represents 1, -1. The x and the y value. Part B. You're asked to solve for x. You are given g of x equals 1. 1 in this case is your y value, so we need to find the x. So if we go to the y-axis, we find 1. Now where is there a point on our graph that has a y-coordinate of 1? So if I follow the graph over, there is a point right here, and that point would be 3, 1. So in this case, our x value is 3. In part C, we are asked to find the inverse of g of 1. Please remember that inverses are symmetrical about the line y equals x. So you are switching the y with the x and the x with the y. So essentially, we are really finding what g of x equals when you have a y value of 1, because the inverse would switch it. We've already found this answer in part B. We said the x was 3. So the inverse of g of 1 is 3. For part D, we are asked to find the inverse of g of x when it equals 1. Even though we are solving for x in this case, we are essentially, once again, finding g of 1. Remember, we are switching the x and the y values when dealing with an inverse. So, what does g of 1 equal? We already found that in part A. It was -1. So the inverse of g of x when it equals 1 would have an x value of -1. These are your 4 answers.